Hey guys, I've been thinking about self-sabotage and people are ablaze when they are self-sabotaging and not realizing what they're doing. And we do it, whether it's binge eating, soothing ourselves by self-medicating, drug abuse, drinking, shopping, right? There's an excessive amount to acerbate when we don't want to acknowledge whatever is happening in front of us, and so we self-medicate instead of meditate. We try to bandage things instead of releasing things because we're always trying to be pleasing. And I think the biggest question that I get is people ask me, how do I stop self-sabotaging? Well, number one is acknowledging that you are is huge. So if you're asking me how, then you already have acknowledged that, and that's a huge step. So take both your hands, open them up, wrap them around yourself, and give yourself a big hug, because that's key, is to acknowledge, and then you can start to change patterns of behavior that no longer benefit you. You have more power than you realize. And I'm talking to you. Like, I'm telling you, you have more power than you realize. How do you get back in that power? Well, number one is acknowledge it. Number two is you're not going to be done until you're done. So whether it's a relationship that you're in, a partnership that isn't going well, waking up every day and feeding into the thoughts that you keep telling yourself, there's a way to change the pattern, and it starts with healing that child within. You can be 14 years old, 26 years old, 37 years old, or 50. You have to heal that child within that is longing to be heard, that has not been nurtured, has been neglected in some way, right? When we can sit with ourselves, when we can sit with ourselves, the pieces of us that are crying, that are leading us to thinking thoughts that we don't desire, we can start to manipulate and communicate and say, I'm here for you, I'm here for you, I am here for me. Nothing is going to happen to you. You're safe. Bring that inner child out to play. Stop pushing it down to the ground where it can't breathe. What you need to do is understand that once you can see how you're manipulating everything around you, including yourself, you can start to address the key parts of you that have the power within. You have everything that it takes to step back into that power. And you're probably saying, I've never had that power, but you have. You've always had it. It's the thing that connects us all. You know, ants, they exchange chemicals when they pass each other, and that's how they communicate, ants. And people communicate by making eye contact, by gesturing with their hands, by speaking, by communicating. The human connection, the interaction that we have is so meaningful when we see that what we're saying matters. And that is also true of the thoughts that happen within you. Change the narrative, the pattern, the story that you're telling yourself, because it's no longer suiting you. So how do you go about making your power impactful and standing back in that? Well, number one, you acknowledge it. Number two, you have to be done with whatever is no longer serving the purpose. And then three, you start listening to the things that you're saying to yourself. Let's change the questions that we're asking in ourselves, because you're only going to respond to how you think that you need to respond to the answer that's being asked. So if in your mind you're thinking, why am I not good enough? Your mind's going to come back and say, well, because you're not. So change the questions, change what you're asking yourself. Be aware to sit with those thoughts that are occurring inside. Change how you're speaking to yourself. Everything is emotional, so if you're laying in bed, if you're not able to get up, then you're hindering the progression of who you are meant to be, and every moment counts. Every moment depends on who you are. This is the only time that we have, and that's why it's so meaningful for us to make sure that every moment that we spend, we are aware of what we're thinking and how we're speaking to others. It's like, imagine that you have a child, and if you do have a child, perhaps also be engaged to notice what you're saying to them. But would you say to a child, you're not good enough? Would you say to a child, you could be better than what you are? Would you say to a child, I don't like this about you? Then why do we do it to ourselves? We can change the narrative of how we're living our lives and what we're saying, the stories that we're letting define who we are. We can change that. You have the power within to change that, to say, this is not how my story is going to be told, and definitely not by me. You have the power within you, and it's waiting for you to grab it back and to say, yes, I own you, I'm here for you. Nothing is going to hurt you. A series of events have to happen over a certain amount of time in order for everything that has happened now to have transpired. For instance, a friend of mine met another friend of mine 2 years ago. Without them meeting, without the mishaps of that happening, I would have never fallen into the position to meet this person. Everyone is connected in some way. Every moment counts. Every single thing that we do, everything that we don't do counts. If you choose not to get up and get out of bed, then you're hindering a potential fortunate possibility that could occur sometime down the line. When you start to realize that every single moment is the only moment that you have, you start to make sure that you use those moments to benefit everything that you wish. And life is but a dream, and dreams do come true, but they start manifesting within you. So now is the time to stand in your power, to devour every single good feeling that you feel, and say yes to more of that which makes you feel good. That's being in your power. And gratitude gets you there. Gratitude puts you on the path when you can acknowledge and be grateful for things that you already have. You allow room and space for more things to be grateful for to come in. So you have the power. The power is within. So sit with you. Just for 5 minutes, just sit with you. Guide yourself to a loving narrative. See how it transforms your day. And make a gratitude list. You know? Be grateful for the air in your lungs, for the time, for this moment, for right now. There's nothing less appealing than always being pleasing. You know, change the narrative. Let go of people and labels and dialogues that no longer suit you, because that's what's hindering you. You are ready to expand. You're ready to expand and be this person that you're supposed to be, and yet you're still confined and trapped by the same narrative that you're telling yourself, thinking that you have to be around certain people. Change those relationships. Change those friendships. Out them. Like, be done with things that no longer serve you. If you're ready to up your next game in life, own your power back. But you're not going to be ready until you're ready. My mom always said, I can tell you what to do, but you won't ever be ready until you're ready. So the question is, are you ready? Are you ready to transform your life? Are you ready to say yes to more of what makes you feel good, and to say no and release the things that don't? And if you are, then you can make a huge transformation. message me. We'll work through it. You have the power within, and I know this because I was sitting where you're sitting, wondering what I'm doing. How does it get better from here? Why do I feel so bad? How do I make my life meaningful? How? You acknowledge it. Be ready to release what no longer serves you. And then you start to believe. Gratitude, the parent of all virtues, is what releases and catapults further greatness within the self. Without gratitude, for even something as simple and yet extraordinary as your heart beating, that can set you on the path to transform your day. And also being mindful of what you're saying up here. Be kinder to that child within. Use those thoughts to build you up. If you wouldn't allow it from someone else, why are you allowing it from yourself? And I'll leave you with this. Whatever you're not changing, you are choosing. Whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. So sitting dormant, idle in your life, is hindering your progress, hiding your power. And that doesn't benefit anyone, especially when the world is meant to see your magic. You are here for a reason. You are magic. So my wish for you today is that you sit with yourself for a minute and you dedicate some time to yourself, to that child within that's just asking to be seen. And the more that you spend time with that child within, the more you will find that the quieter that child will be and won't be so attention seeking, but instead will be there, ready to cheer you on forward. But we have to heal. We have to heal. We must heal. Generations upon generations have been telling the same narrative. There's not a template form for everyone. You can change the narrative of how you were brought up to believe what you think by telling yourself a new story. You are so worthy of the magic you possess to share it with everyone. So get up and get moving. And decide that today is going to be the first day that you start showing up for your power. Be magic. Have gratitude. You're here for a reason. Pursue your passion. And if you don't know how to start, just sit with yourself. Sit with yourself and heal that part. Heal that part that's saying, I'm not good enough. And ask why. You're even asking why you're not good enough. Did someone tell you that lie? Did someone who didn't know what they were doing either tell you that because they were having a bad day? Remember that what other people say about us is more of a reflection on them than us. So that's huge. If you are putting people down, that's speaking to who you are and how you feel. And if we see with the eyes of love, then love is all we see. So if we can change the way that we see me, the individual within who's asking to be heard, not only can you transform your day, but you can also impact everyone that comes along your way. So just try it. Give yourself a little time today, a little patience, a little love, and show some gratitude for yourself. You got this. I believe in you. I hope this resonated with you. I know that everybody's going through something, and this isn't to minimize your story or your pain. Everybody is going through pain. The choice is in the suffering. But you won't be done until you're done. So choose, when you're ready, to stop sitting in suffering and take your power back. Okay, till next time, be light and love. Let's love. See you soon.